If someone offered you $100,000 for one night, no names, no trail, no cameras, just a signature on a little non-disclosure and a key card to a quiet hotel, would you take it? Don't answer me. Answer you. Picture the envelope on the table, the zeros staring at you like a choir of reasons. Hear the whisper, it's only one night. Smell the perfume of opportunity. Feel the adrenaline of emergency bills finally paid. Now hear this louder than the money. Are you for sale? Write it down. Put that question in your notes and underline it. Are you for sale? This is not a question about money. This is a question about boundaries. Where's your boundary when temptation comes with a reward? Where is the line that power cannot push, money cannot buy, and sex cannot negotiate? If your line is not drawn before the offer, your emotions will draw you a new one during the offer. Temptation is expensive, but compromise costs more. Tweet that to somebody right now. Let me make this plain. The envelope is not testing your budget. It is testing your being. The devil does not need your poverty. He wants your price. Jesus posed it this way. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? Mark 8:36. Proverbs 23:23 commands, buy the truth and sell it not. Write it down. Truth is not merchandise. Integrity is not for auction. Honesty is my only policy. I have sat in boardrooms where a smiling executive slid a contract across glass like a serpent across still water. I have counseled a young singer offered a tour if she would play along one weekend. The numbers change. The night changes. The test does not. If you have a price, hell has a budget. If you have a principle, hell has no leverage. Everybody say conviction. Daniel purposed in his heart not to defile himself before the king's table. Daniel 1-8. He didn't wait until the menu arrived to decide his diet. Pre-decided convictions defeat in the moment negotiations. Write it down. Don't negotiate with what you already decided. There is no such thing as a private life. Secrets are simply futures with interest. Compromise pays in cash and charges in character. I'm going to walk you on a journey, and we won't sentimentalize it. We will define your non-negotiable line in ink, not in feelings. We will install guardrails where your willpower pretends it is strong, in your phones, your friends, and your environments. We will build walls of wisdom around rooms where your weakness likes to wander. Because principles are laws. You can ignore them, but you can never disagree with them without a fall. So back to the envelope. Are you for sale? Answer that now, before the knock at 2 a.m. Lead with your life. Guard your heart, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. And remember, the night ends, but the name remains. Choose the name. Before you answer the night, you must define the name. Why do we call the alphabet characters? Think with me. A is A in Africa. A is A in Asia. And A is still A at 2 a.m. in a back alley. B is B in the Bronx, in Beijing, or in the Bahamas. Place does not edit it. Pressure does not bend it. Midnight does not mutate it. It never changes. That's why we call them characters. Write it down. A character is what remains itself, everywhere, every time, under anything. Why do we call numbers characters? Because 1 is always 1. 2 is always 2. 1 is not 2 because the economy is bad. 2 does not become 3 because you are lonely. Numbers don't adjust themselves to your feelings. Tweet that to somebody right now. We trust mathematics because its characters don't negotiate. You can set your watch, build a bridge, and wire a city on the reliability of characters that refuse to change. So hear me. Character is reliability embodied. Character is predictability with a pulse. Look at a statue. A storm can slap it. The sun can bleach it. Pigeons can mock it. Tourists can photograph it. But the statue does not blink. The weather changes. The statue stands. If it moves with the wind, it is not a statue. It is a scarecrow. Write it down. Your character is your internal statue. Fads can swirl, salaries can spike, seductions can sing, but if you have character, your posture does not bow. The applause cannot tilt you, the threats cannot twist you. Character is the part of you that does not flinch. So what is integrity? Integrity is oneness, integration, no seams, no splits, no public self and private self, just one self everywhere, every time. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, Deuteronomy 6:4. Holiness is oneness, be one. Everybody say integrate. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only hidden rooms waiting for a light. If you need two phones, you already need one conscience. If you speak one ethic on the platform and live another at home, that is not integrity, that is duplicity. Write this down. Character is simply integrity, unchanging consistency. The foundation of trust is integrity. He who walks in integrity walks securely. Proverbs 10:9. Why? Because he is the same man on Monday as on Sunday, the same woman with a microphone as with a minibar. God anchors us in his own immutability. I, the Lord, do not change. Malachi 3:6. Leadership that reflects God reflects that sameness, not your charisma, your character. Power does not corrupt. Power simply reveals corruption. Money does not make you greedy. It amplifies the greed you hid. Access to sex does not create lust. It exposes the lust you excused. Character is what will not change when change offers you a deal. Test yourself. Who are you at 2 a.m. when no one is clapping? Who are you in the Bronx traffic and in the boardroom bonus? Who are you when a stranger flirts and when your spouse is asleep? If the environment has to be holy for you to be holy, you are not holy, you are camouflage. Costumes change with the stage. Character stands when the curtain falls. Write it down and live it out. Be the statue that never blinks. Lead with your life. Principles are not suggestions, they are laws. They don't bend to tears. They don't bargain with loneliness. They do not consult your calendar, your chemistry, or your crisis. Write it down. Principles demand your obedience, not your agreement. The law of the Lord is perfect. Psalm 19:7. Perfect means complete, consistent, constant. Heaven does not edit for culture. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Matthew 24:35. Tweet that to somebody right now. Let me make it so plain your feelings can't fog it. Gravity. You can ignore gravity, but you cannot disagree with it. Step off a 10-story building and say, I don't believe in down. And down will introduce itself to your bones. Your disagreement does not suspend the law. It exposes your body to the consequence. Here is the maxim. Write this down and circle it. You can never disagree with the principle. You can only discover its consequence. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap. Galatians 6-7. That is not a church cliche. That is a cosmic statute. You do not break a law. The law breaks you. You do not violate a principle. The principle invoices you. So hear me. Submit your decisions to laws, not to moods. When your feelings are loud, let the law speak louder. When chemistry surges, consult the statute. When your account screams, ask the principle. Write this down. I will not let a moment overrule a mandate. Build a written list of non-negotiables, laws you adopt before the storm, not vibes, not hopes, laws. For example, I do not lie, even to make a deal. I do not enter a private space with a person who is not my spouse. I do not take secret money. I do not trade my body, my name, or my God for any opportunity. I do not drink where my wisdom is weak. Put your name on that list. Date it. Give it to 2 people who love you enough to confront you. Post it where your eyes can accuse your excuses. Now bring back the envelope. The $100,000 night is not about romance or relief. It is a gravity test. The non-disclosure is a napkin in a hurricane. The principal has already posted the speed limit, and the cliff has already measured the bottom. Violate it, and you pay first with your sleep, then with your name, then with your influence. The payout is paper. The penalty is permanent. Write this down. If your principle is clear, your price disappears. When you pre-submit to the law, you pre-refuse the offer. God gave us laws to secure our freedom, not to shrink our joy. Obedience is not bondage. Obedience is predictability. Great peace have those who love your law. Psalm 119 to 165. Peace is the fruit of principled living. So stand under the law like a roof in a storm. Lead with your life. And when gravity calls you to jump, answer with your list. Before you argue with the envelope, check the blueprint. God never gives power before he gives an image. Genesis 1:26. Hear it like a drum in your bones. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Order reveals priority. Sequence reveals safety. Image before dominion. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. God installs character before he authorizes control. He gives you who to be before he hands you what to manage. What is image? Image is likeness, alignment with God's nature. Holiness is oneness. Integrity is integration. No cracks, no costume changes. God stamped on you a moral template. Truth, faithfulness, self-control, covenant loyalty. Then he said, now rule. Dominion is power, authority, platform, options, influence. But when you reverse the order, you weaponize your opportunity against your own soul. Power without character kills. Not your gift, your governance. Power is not evil. Power is explosive. Character is the containment. The anointing is the fuel. Integrity is the engine block. No block, the explosion escapes. Write it down. Image is the restraint that makes power safe. Do not repeat the culture's lie. Power will not corrupt you. It exposes what is already there. Opportunity is a mirror, not a makeup kit. Promotions don't create pride. They reveal it. Money does not birth greed. It magnifies it. Access does not invent lust. It unmasks it. That's why the Lord anchors leadership in character. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perverseness of the treacherous will destroy them. Proverbs 11:3. Guidance or destruction, same wind, different anchor. Who are you before the raise, before the room, before the DM? If your private image is blurred, your public dominion will be bloody. Apply it to the offer. A large check is dominion, leverage, doors, decisions. A viral platform is dominion, eyeballs, applause, influence. An unlocked hotel room is dominion access, secrecy, speed. Without the image, dominion becomes demolition. That's why Jesus, full of image, rejected a crown without a cross. All these kingdoms I will give you, the tempter said. Jesus answered, it is written, Luke 4:5-8. He submitted his will to the word before he exercised his right to rule. Image before dominion. Leaders, listen to me. Do not chase opportunities. Cultivate integrity. Don't pray for a bigger stage. Pray for a deeper soul. Your gift attracts. Your character sustains. Your charisma opens the door. Your integrity keeps the roof from collapsing. In relationships, in careers, in ministry, the survival law is the same. Image before dominion. Write it down. Refuse to bind yourself to someone's power until you have seen their image. Refuse to promote a talent whose private life is a public hazard. Lead with your life. Here is the kingdom equation. Engrave it in your spirit. If character does not govern you, opportunity will destroy you. But if the image is clear, dominion is safe. Live so aligned with God's likeness that when dominion arrives, it finds a vessel that can hold it without cracking. Integrity is proven at 3 doors. Power, money, access to sex. Write it down. Those are the examiners that ring every bell and knock on every heart. Politicians, preachers, parents, pop stars, when they fall, trace the crack and you will find one of those hinges snapped. Expect these exams. Do not be surprised by them. Be scheduled for them. The Apostle John named their species long ago. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. 1 John 2:16. That is sex. That is money. That is power. Different costumes. Same spirits. Tweet that to somebody right now. Power asks, will you serve when you could dominate? Will you submit when you could force? Money asks, will you steward or will you sell? Will you tell the truth when a lie fattens the deal? Sex asks, will you honor covenant or feed chemistry? Will you lead your body or follow your biology? These are not random pop quizzes. They are predictable finals. Jesus faced them in the wilderness, bread for appetite, kingdoms for authority, a temple leap for applause, and he passed by. Principle, it is written, Luke 4:1-12. You don't pass by willpower in the moment. You pass by pre-decisions anchored in the Word. Write it down. Pre-decided convictions beat in the moment. Negotiations. Let me uncover the trap beneath the carpet. Secrecy. Hidden habits are rehearsals for public collapse. What you practice in the dark performs on the stage. For nothing is secret that will not be revealed, nor anything hidden that will not be known and come to light. Luke 8:17. Be sure your sin will find you out. Numbers 32-23. There is no such thing as a private life, only a delayed public one. That's a law. You do not break it. It breaks you. The browser history you curate at 2 a.m. is a press conference with a future date. The cash you skim in small amounts is an audit with a ticking clock. The flirt you justify as innocent is an affair in adolescence. Expose it, or it will expose you. So let me conduct the audit right now. And don't look away. Who are you at 2 a.m.? With whom and why? Who are you in a closed office with a vulnerable subordinate? Who are you when the invoice can hide an extra zero and no one will check? Who are you when a DM slides in with a compliment and an invitation? Who do you become when you think no one is counting? He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Integrity is measured in inches before it is measured in miles. Prepare like an athlete, not like a gambler. Gamblers trust luck in the moment. Athletes train before the whistle. Decide your answers while the room is bright, not when the lights are blue. Write this down. I decide at noon what I will do at night. Put scripture on your tongue before the serpent puts offers in your hand. Put limits on your calendar before loneliness puts options on your pillow. Put yes and no in permanent ink. And when the 3 examiners arrive, as they surely will let your pre-decisions speak before your emotions do. Lead with your life. Let's run the stress test while the lights are bright. A friend of a friend reaches out. Hey, you're amazing. No pressure, private opportunity. One night, $100,000. Cash, no cameras, NDA signed. A suite no one knows about. We'll take care of your flight, your bills, your secrets. Feel the room change. Your bills start doing math. Your loneliness starts writing poetry. Your ego starts humming a song called You Deserve This. Stop. Freeze the frame. This is not about romance. This is about retail. Are you for sale? Write it down. Now the escalation. Because the tempter always negotiates upward to justify your downward. Okay, $250,000. Half now, half after. We'll wire it to a clean account. You say no. They say, whoa, you're tough. How about $1 million? One night. Pay off the house. Change your zip code. No one will ever know. Everybody look at me. At what number do your principles become negotiable? If your answer moves with the amount, you don't have a line, you have a catalog. Tweet that to somebody right now. Buy the truth and sell it not. Proverbs 23:23. Truth has no price tag. Character is not merchandise. Here is how you pass a test you will certainly face. You script your no in advance. Matthew 5:37 gives you the pattern. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Not maybe, not convince me, not convict me with more zeros. Write it down and rehearse it out loud until your vocal cords can say it without your hormones' permission. Thank you for the offer. I do not exchange my body, my name, my God, or my covenant for any sum. This conversation is over. Do not contact me again. Block, delete, inform. That is the no script, no apology, no debate, no payment plan for your integrity. Say the no before the offer arrives. Practice it in your car. Whisper it in your shower. Record it on your phone and play it back until it becomes your reflex. Job 31:1 is your creed. I have made a covenant with my eyes. Covenants are pre-decisions. Pre-decided convictions defeat In the moment negotiations. Write it down. Athletes train before the whistle. Saints decide before the DM. Line check right now. If an extra zero changes your answer, you don't have a conviction, you have a coupon. If your no needs more data, it was never a no, it was a stalled yes. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. Resistance is not a feeling, it is a script. Honesty is my only policy. Integrity is self-imposed discipline. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only delayed headlines. So lock your no in your mouth, engrave it on your heart, and lead with your life. Let's count like adults, not like addicts. Open the life ledger, not the bank app asset audit. Trust, accrued in drops over years, lost in a splash in minutes. Reputation, a crystal goblet you polish with consistency. One slip and it shatters. Marriage, a covenant garden watered daily. One night of acid and the root system burns. Spiritual authority, the weight of your words. When you trade your integrity, your sentences go on a diet and nobody believes you anymore. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Proverbs 22:1. Write it down. 5 seconds can destroy what 20 years built. Here is the equation. Tattoo it on your conscience. Temptation is expensive, but compromise costs more. Tweet that to somebody right now. The payout is short, but the price is lifelong. Cash clears quickly. Consequences compound quietly. The wages of sin is death. Romans 6:23. Death of trust, death of peace, death of opportunities. You will never even know you lost because the door closed in rooms you were not in. You think you bought relief? You actually least regret. Public math now. Headlines last longer than hush money. Screens, remember. The internet does not forget. Archives are prophets with perfect memory. NDAs muffle mouths. Not algorithms. One screenshot becomes a museum exhibit of your worst 5 minutes. His dishonor will be permanent. Proverbs 6:33. Even when mercy forgives, and thank God it does, public trust rebuilds at the pace of seasons, not seconds. You cannot subpoena amnesia. You cannot negotiate with memory. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only delayed headlines. Write it down. Inner math, next. Shame invoices the soul with interest. Fragmentation splits you into two, what you say and what you did. The Lord our God is one. Holiness is oneness. Integrity is integration. Compromise tears the seam. David testifies, when I kept silent, my bones grew old. Your hand was heavy upon me. Psalm 32:3-4. Self-betrayal is the heaviest hand in the room. You start avoiding mirrors and honest friends. Sleep leaves. Joy limps. He who commits adultery lacks sense. He who does, it destroys himself. Proverbs 6:32. Hebrews 13:4 adds the verdict. Marriage is honorable, but fornicators and adulterers God will judge. Judgment is not just thunder, it's the quiet erosion of your insides. What does compromise buy? A brief chemical storm? A momentary applause? A deposit with decay attached? What does it burn? The slow-baked bread of credibility, the warmth of unbroken covenant, the sound of your voice when you say, trust me, and they can. At the end of your life, you will groan, how I hated instruction, Proverbs 5:11-12. Don't let that be your song. Choose wisdom's math. Pay the price of obedience up front. It is cheaper than regret on layaway. Write it down. I refuse short money that mortgages my future. Lead with your life. Now we draw the line. Not in sand, sand moves. In stone, in ink, in your own handwriting. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Write this vision of your character and make it plain so your feet can run from what your feelings would flirt with. A written line turns temptation into a clear trespass, not a discussion. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. Start with vows you can recite in your sleep. Not slogans, standards. I do not lie. I do not cheat. I do not steal. I do not share a bed with anyone I am not covenanted to in marriage. I do not take secret money. I do not enter hidden spaces with someone who is not my spouse. I do not consume anything that weakens my wisdom. I do not negotiate with my no. These are not suggestions. These are statutes for your name. Proverbs 22:28 warns, do not remove the ancient landmark. Boundaries are landmarks. You move the stone, you lose the field. Boundaries are not fear. They are fences for freedom. Tweet that. Now define your gray zones in black and white. Late night texts. I do not sustain private conversations after 9 p.m. with anyone who is not my spouse or my blood. If it is worth saying, it is worth saying in the daylight and on record. Secluded meetings. I do not meet alone behind closed doors. If I must meet, the door stays open or the room stays glass. Travel protocols. I do not travel alone with a person to whom I am attracted or who is attracted to me. I do not share cars late at night with subordinates or clients. I do not book adjacent rooms with a temptation. I notify my spouse or my accountability partner of my itinerary, my hotel, my dinner companions, and I send receipts. Ephesians 5:3 draws the boundary in capital letters, but among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality. Not a hint means no hallway hugs that linger, no accidental brushes, no secret selfies, no winking emojis. Write it down. Clarity kills compromise. Put money in the document too. I do not take cash off the books. I do not fudge invoices. I do not move zeros. I do not accept gifts that require secrets. 2 signatures for every significant spend. Provide things honest in the sight of all. Romans 12:17. Honesty is my only policy. Character is self-imposed discipline. Visibility is your first layer of accountability. Post your line in your phone and on your wall lock screen and office frame. Put it on your refrigerator and in your glove compartment. Read it weekly. Date it. Sign it. Give copies to 2 people who love you enough to confront you and who have permission to call you at midnight. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only hidden rooms waiting for a light. Your written line is a floodlight. When the texts arise, the hallway door clicks, the car idles at the curb, your document will speak louder than your dopamine. And when the offer comes, and it will, your standards will answer for you. Let your yes be yes. Let your no be no. Then lead with your life. Don't trust willpower where wisdom can build walls. Write it down. Willpower is a feeling. Wisdom is a fence. Romans 13:14 commands, make no provision for the flesh, which means remove the arrangement that makes sin convenient. Proverbs 4:23 follows, guard your heart with all diligence, which means post sentries at the gates, eyes, ears, phone, calendar. Guardrails do not insult your strength. They preserve your soul. Start with a device in your hand. Your phone is a portal. Close the secret doors. No secret apps. No hidden folders. No disappearing messages. Share your passcodes with your spouse or your accountability partner today. If your conscience protests, it has already confessed. Set do not disturb after 9 p.m. Lust loves late. Turn location sharing on. Darkness hates maps. Install accountability software. If that is your wisdom, let another pair of eyes see your clicks. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. Psalm 101:3. Ephesians 5:11 says, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Exposure is a strategy, not a shame. Tweet that to somebody right now. Now prune your people. Bad company corrupts good morals. 1 Corinthians 15:33. He who walks with wise men will be wise. Proverbs 13:20. Some of you must delete numbers you should never dial when you are tired. Unfollow flirts. Dismiss enablers that call your weakness human. Appoint 2 truth tellers. Name them, inform them, and empower them to confront you anytime unannounced. Give them your calendar, your travel plans, your spending reports. Proverbs 27:6 says, faithful are the wounds of a friend. If their words never cut, they are not surgeons, they are spectators. Write it down. I choose friends who guard my future, not fans who pet my feelings. Shape your environments like a wise architect. No late night one-on-ones. If the meeting is essential, schedule it in daylight with others present. Use glass doors for meetings. Transparency is a technology of holiness. Avoid alcohol-fueled spaces when you are alone. Ephesians 5:18 warns, do not be drunk with wine, because intoxication lowers the gates your convictions built. Choose bright, public, accountable places. Abstain from every form of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. That includes the forms that only look like evil to observers who don't know your innocence. Protect perception. Perception protects trust. Travel requires stricter walls. No adjacent hotel rooms with anyone who tempts you or trusts you. Do not share rides alone at night with subordinates or clients. Set video call check-ins with your spouse or your accountability partner at hotel arrival, post-dinner, and bedtime. Put your itinerary in writing. Flight, hotel, dinner companions. Keep receipts and make your expenses transparent to a third party. Finance sees it all. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Romans 12:17. Flee convenience that courts compromise. Flee youthful lust. 2 Timothy 2:22. Do not stroll. Run. Here is the maxim engraved. Never do anything you don't want anyone to find out about. Write it down. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only delayed headlines. Guardrails are not legalism. They are love applied to your future. Character is self-imposed discipline. Build the walls now, so when night knocks, your wisdom answers the door and your willpower can rest. Lead with your life. 2 men in the same book, 2 rooms with the same heat, 2 futures hanging on one decision, Joseph and Samson. Run or rationalize. Write it down. Genesis 39 says Potiphar's wife grabbed Joseph day after day. She marketed a moment, he guarded a mandate. Here is conviction. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Genesis 39:9. That is image before dominion speaking. Not, it's not a good idea, but it is a sin against God. And when she clutched his garment and the room shrank, verse 12 says, he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. Sometimes holiness has speed. Tweet that to somebody right now. Joseph refused, then he ran. He lost a cloak, but he kept a crown. Write it down. What you leave behind in the hallway is insurance for what God will place on your head in a palace. He went to prison, yes, but prison was promotion school. By Genesis 41, the same man who shared a coat wore a signet ring. Character before promotion. Power did not make Joseph. Character revealed Joseph. The integrity of the upright shall guide them. Proverbs 11:3. Guided out of a bedroom, guided into a boardroom. That's the math of God. Now walk to Judges 16. Samson, strong like a storm, weak like a whisper. Delilah asked, where is your great strength? And he played with it. He toyed with truth. He scheduled sin. He negotiated his vow, one joke at a time. Nazirite boundaries were not decorations. They were laws. He kept a secret and lost his sight, literally and morally. Verse 20 is one of the saddest lines in Scripture. He awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before. But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. Power doesn't corrupt. It reveals. The test exposes your structure. Samson's muscles were massive, but his character was malnourished. He flirted with fire and presumed on grace until grace stepped back and the Philistines stepped in. Then the Philistines seized him and gouged out his eyes. Judges 16:21. When you romance a razor, do not be surprised when your head is light and your future is shaved. Everybody look at me. You will enter rooms that smell like Genesis 39 or sound like Judges 16. The door you choose will be your biography. When cornered, evacuation is holiness. Negotiation is compromise. Write it down. Joseph said no, then broke the huddle and ran the play called Exit. Samson said, let's talk, and died negotiating. Flee sexual immorality, 1 Corinthians 6:18. Not flirt, flee. Flee youthful lust, 2 Timothy 2:22. Not manage, flee. Sometimes holiness has speed. Application right now. If the message turns suggestive, end the thread and leave it unread. If the office door closes, open it and step into a hallway with witnesses. If a hand holds your sleeve, leave the sleeve. Cloaks are cheaper than crowns. If the offer says, just this once, your featured answer, not even once. Write this down. I choose running shoes over rationalizations. Exit is wisdom. Explanation is a snare. Let your no be no, Matthew 5:37. Pre-decided, practice it, perform it on cue. Joseph or Samson? Run or rationalize? Lose a coat or lose your sight? The same God who honored Joseph will secure you. Lead with your life. Why did Joseph run while Samson negotiated? Because under pressure, they consulted different operating systems. Write this down. Lifestyle is the public fruit of a private value system. Trees don't pick their fruit at the marketplace. They grow it in the soil they stand in every day. Jesus said a good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. By their fruit you will know them. Matthew 7:18-20. Fruit is lifestyle. Roots are values. The soil is your philosophy. Tweet that to somebody right now. Here is the cascade. Engrave it. Your philosophy produces your values. Your values produce your morals. Your morals inform your ethics. Your ethics produce your character. Your character becomes your lifestyle. That's not motivational fluff. That's law. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Mind philosophy. What you believe about God, about yourself, about others, about reality. These convictions settle into values. Truth, purity, stewardship, covenant, honor. Values become morals, personal rules. I tell the truth. I keep my vow. I refuse secret money. I flee sexual immorality. Morals then inform ethics, your applied standards at work, at home, on the road, in the inbox. Ethics build character, integrated oneness. Character then shows up as lifestyle habits, calendar, reputation. You don't violate this chain. It violates you. Write it down. Exercise right now. Take your phone or piece of paper. Top 5 values, write them. If you struggle, you've located your danger. Put truth, and then the behavior truth demands under pressure. I tell the truth when a lie will save face or money. Put purity. I run when attraction awakens, not when scandal arrives. Put covenant. I guard my marriage in calendar blocks, not apologies. Put stewardship. I account for every dollar with witnesses. I do not take cash with strings. Put honor. I refuse to mock who I serve. I correct in private and cover in public. Now add this column under pressure. Because values that don't dictate behavior under pressure are decorations, not decisions. Write it down. Pre-decided behaviors confirm real values. Warning to the visionaries. Vision without values is destiny without discipline. You can see the palace and still die in the bedroom if your values don't police your options. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1-8. Instability is a values problem. Don't ask God for a larger platform if you won't pour concrete in your private beliefs. Honesty is my only policy. Character is self-imposed discipline. Directive now. Align your calendar and companions to your values. Show me your calendar, and I will predict your character. Show me your companions, and I will forecast your future. Walk with the wise and become wise. Proverbs 13:20. If purity is on your wall, but date nights with your spouse are not on your schedule, your value is vandalized by your calendar. If stewardship is your creed, but your expenses high from review, your ethics are wobbly. Keep your heart with all diligence. Proverbs 4:23 means manage inputs, appointments, media, mentors to match your declared values. Misalignment today is betrayal tomorrow. Write it down. Checkpoint. Examine your private ethics. If your ethics wobble in private, your lifestyle will collapse in public. Luke 6:45 says, out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. Secrets leak. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only delayed headlines. So repair the cascade at the top. Renew your mind. Codify your values. Script your morals. Publish your ethics to your inner circle. Guard your character like a vault. Then live loudly. Let your fruit match your roots. Lead with your life. Now we bind what we built. Construction without locks invites thieves. Write it down. Character is self-imposed discipline. Paul said, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, 1 Corinthians 9:27. That is not legalism. That is leadership of self. You will never rule your day if you do not rule your desires. Liberty is not the absence of fences. Liberty is the presence of wise fences. I will walk at liberty, for I seek your precepts. Psalm 119 to 45. Tweet that to somebody right now. Here is the integrity vow, and it belongs in your mouth each morning before it is on your wall. Speak it line by line, present tense, with your name on it. Honesty is my only policy. I am not for sale. My body and my word are governed by principle. I tell the truth even when it costs me. I keep my vows even when it hurts. My yes is yes, my no is no. I flee sexual immorality. I refuse secret money. I do not trade my covenant for chemistry, nor my name for numbers. I choose image before dominion, character before opportunity. I will not betray my future for a feeling. Write it down. Psalm 15 describes this person. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. Psalm 15 to 4. Ecclesiastes 5 to 4 warns, when you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it. Vow and pay. Now codify it. Print the vow. Sign and date it today. Place it on your mirror, your desk, your dashboard. Read it aloud daily before emails, before meetings, before travel. Renew the date at the top each month. Add your spouse's or your accountability partner's signature as witness. This is not decoration. This is legislation for your name. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only delayed headlines. Your vow turns delay into disclosure to yourself on time. Every morning. Accountability rhythm next. Two truth tellers already have permission to interrogate your week. Schedule them. 15 minutes. Same time, same day. Calendars visible. Receipts visible. Screen reports visible. James 5:16 instructs, confess your faults one to another, that you may be healed. Confess early. Correct quickly. Hide nothing. Proverbs 28 to 13 says, he who covers his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Make 3 weekly questions non-negotiable. Did you tell the whole truth this week? Did you keep your eyes, your hands, and your calendar in covenant? 3, is there any money, message, or meeting you would fear on the screen? If yes, confess now. Repair now. Inform those affected now. Mercy moves at the speed of light. Shame hardens at the speed of silence. Lock yourself in the prison of your convictions. Write it down. Voluntary prisons of principle keep you free from external chains. Galatians 5 to 1 says, stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free, which means hold your freedom by holding your fence. Your vow is not a cage, it is a castle wall. Bind yourself now, so no one can bind you later. Sign it, date it, say it, share it with your 2 truth tellers. And when the examiners knock, let your vow answer the door. Lead with your life. The finish line is not a signature, it is a life. Write this down. The Lord our God is one, so be one. Holiness is oneness. Integrity is integration. Be the same person in the light and in the dark, at 2 p.m. on a stage and at 2 a.m. with a screen. Psalm 15 to 2 calls it out. He who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart, not just with his mouth, his heart. 1 John 1 to 7 adds the blueprint. If we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. Walk in the light until light becomes your habitat and shadows suffocate. There is no such thing as a private life. There are only delayed headlines. Live loudly. Here is the transparency rule. Engrave it. Assume every act could be broadcast. Live accordingly. Luke 12 to 3 says, what you have said in the dark will be heard in the light. Hebrews 4:13 removes the myth of secrecy. All things are naked and open to the eyes of him to whom we must give account. If you can't stream it, don't scheme it. Write it down. Choose venues and behaviors that could survive a screen. Turn your standards into your spotlight. We aim at what is honorable not only in the Lord's sight, but also in the sight of man. 2 Corinthians 8:21. That's not performance, that's prudence. Tweet that to somebody right now. Schedule a weekly audit. Integrity is maintained, not assumed. Ask and answer in writing. Who am I at 2 a.m.? What texts need deleting? And if they need deleting, they need confessing and ending. What meetings need a window or a witness? What searches need repentance? What expenses need a second set of eyes? What room did I enter that my vow would not enter with me? Pray Psalm 139-23 over your phone. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties. Then obey 1 John 1-9. Confess quickly, forsake decisively, repair immediately. Honesty is my only policy. Character is self-imposed discipline. Community. Now don't walk alone. Share your vow with 2 friends today. Invite inspection, not just encouragement. Iron does not cuddle iron. Iron sharpens iron. So a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Proverbs 27-17. Hand them your calendar, your contact list, and your camera roll access. Give them pre-authorization to interrupt you, to ask for receipts, to call your spouse, to pull you out of rooms your destiny cannot afford. And when they wound you with truth, thank them. Galatians 6-1 says, restore one another in a spirit of gentleness. Let them restore you early rather than eulogize you late. Live so consistently in the open that secret offers lose all leverage. When your life is lighted, darkness has no discounts. Let your yes be yes on Monday and at midnight. Walk loudly. Love your future enough to protect your present. Lead with your life. Tweet that.